So tomorrow night we have UFC Fight Night, and it's a pretty solid card for free UFC. Like we'll take it, right? Cannonier versus Strickland. Arman Sarukian's fighting. He's always great. Bobby Green versus Drew Dober. That's a fun fight in the lightweight division. In this video, we're going to be focusing completely on Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland, what it means for the middleweight division, and who I think is going to win this fight. So Jared Cannonier is the number 3 ranked middleweight on the planet. Then you have Sean Strickland, who's number 7. These guys are both coming off of losses. Jared Cannonier fought for the title in his last fight. He lost to Israel Adesanya. And then Sean Strickland was in a title eliminator against Alex Pereira, in which he got knocked out in the first round. In this middleweight divisions, it's in a weird place right now because you have Izzy, who just barely got defeated by Pereira for the 3rd time. And I do think that he's probably the best middleweight on the planet, even with this 3rd loss to Alex Pereira in combat sports. And you would expect that rematch to happen ASAP. I think Izzy deserves it. He's been a champion for a long time in this division. He's been active. He's always been fighting people. And he was winning that fight up until he lost it in the last round with 2 minutes to go in that fight. So you got Pereira as the champion. You have Izzy as the former champion who has mowed everyone down. You have Robert Whittaker, who's just been the ultimate gatekeeper. One of the best gatekeepers in the sport. And gatekeeper is like a term of disrespect, but it's not meant to be disrespectful here at all. It seems like Whittaker just fights all of these people who want to be champions and want to fight for titles. And he just defeats them. He's like, nah, you got to wait a little bit if you want to fight for a title. He beat Cannonier and made Cannonier have to win a couple more fights to fight for that title. It's just a weird division. I mean, you got Marvin Vettori. He's fighting and he's always winning. It's just it seems like everyone knows their place in the order of this division, and it's hard to get to the top because you have those 3 tanks of Pereira and Adesanya and Whittaker right there waiting for you. But enough about the middleweight division. Let's get into this fight specifically. So this is one, basically, you don't want to be the guy with a 2-fight losing streak. And these guys right now, they need to get the dub and just try to string together some more wins to try to get back to the top. No one wants to be on a 2-fight losing skid. That's just not what you want to have on your UFC resume. Now, who do I think is winning this fight? So here's what I'm thinking. I have to question Sean Strickland's fight IQ after his last fight. He was fighting someone fairly new to the sport of MMA who has a huge kickboxing resume. He's very experienced in striking. And rather than using the full scope of MMA, he chose to stand there and box a kickboxer, and he got knocked out via left hand from hell. And I think this is a fight that Sean Strickland could have just wrestled. And I'm not saying he automatically would have gotten a takedown, but to at least put that into Alex Pereira's head, that takedowns could come, it opens up Sean Strickland's striking game so much more than it would have just, standing there and banging with him. And it was a fatal flaw. It was a questionable decision, and it ended his night very quickly. Meanwhile, you have Jared Cannonier, who was a former heavyweight. He's got crazy power. He's dropped down multiple divisions, and he's still got the power of a heavyweight. He can really crack, and if he touches you, he will hurt you. So the question is, how does that fare for Sean Strickland? Because I feel like they're striking similar. I think they're similar in terms of how good they are at striking, but I think Cannonier packs the bigger punch in a big way, and I think Cannonier has the better fight IQ. He doesn't have this pride where he's like, I have this power, so I have to knock you out. He goes for takedowns. We saw that against Kelvin Gastelum. I think he attempted it a little bit against Robert Whittaker. If you remember that Whittaker fight, I think he's second best on the planet in terms of middleweights. Cannonier won that 3rd round, and it was getting a little hairy for Whittaker. Cannonier is a damn good fighter, and just because he has, maybe doesn't have the leg up on some of these elite middleweights, he is really, really good. I am picking him to win this fight. I think the fight IQ and his ability to be a full mixed martial artist plus having that power is going to give him the leg up on Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland's really good. I think he can stand and bang, and he can pick people apart, but I don't think Cannonier's one that he's gonna, strike into just being kind of defensive. Sometimes I think when Strickland takes over, we saw it against Uriah Hall, he's just in the driver's seat and he can pick people apart and back them down and just keep throwing. I don't think you're going to see that from Cannonier. You're going to see him really throwing back. He's not going to back down, and I ultimately see him getting the knockout, and I see him not being afraid to go for takedowns if he needs to. I think he's more well-rounded. I think he's got the power, so I'm picking Jared Cannonier to get the W over Sean Strickland. And I don't know what happens next. This middleweight division's in a weird spot, like I said. But I'm looking forward to this fight. I think it's really big. Sean Strickland always brings it in the media right before his fights. He's already been talking a ton of shit, not necessarily even about Cannonier, just about everyone, about Israel Adesanya, about random reporters. So there's a lot of excitement here. So good luck to Jared Cannonier in his crystals. Hopefully his crystals help him get the W this Saturday. So yeah, what do you guys think? Who wins this fight? Jared Cannonier or Sean Strickland? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, guys.